What is up, everybody? Shauna D Man here, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys are having yourselves a great week so far. We are going to dive a little bit into Auburn's March Madness prediction for the channel. We found out this past Sunday that obviously Auburn was the number one overall seed, and their path to the Final Four starts Thursday, which I was really surprised that Auburn was going to be the first team, like first number one seed to play. I was maybe thinking they would play on Friday, which I kind of had hoped they were going to play on Friday, but they're playing on Thursday. I think it's like a 1:50 p.m. tip off, and just as I'm recording, it looks like Alabama State is going to beat St. Francis. So Thursday, Auburn will play Alabama State in Kentucky this Thursday for a 1:50 p.m. tip off. So what good scouting report for Bruce Pearl and the guys, because I think they arrived in Lexington like earlier Tuesday afternoon, I believe. But I was curious on like what were they going to do, like how early we're going to get up there. I figured Tuesday seemed like the proper time to get up there with you playing on Thursday, and there was Alabama State and both St. Francis having to play playing games to determine who plays you on Thursday. There's a good opportunity for Bruce Pearl, Stephen Pearl, and the guys to like scout out both teams and come up with a plan on how you were going to tackle either one of these teams. So it looks like Alabama State is going to win. Um, the ending of it was really wild. But anyway, enough of that. As far as Auburn goes, in regards to their March Madness and how far they're going to go, so they should, like, the other day you had like Stephen A. Smith, Colin Coward, uh, and probably there's maybe a few more, but primarily those two guys calling out Auburn, especially Stephen A. Smith, like calling out Auburn, trying to like get them juiced up and everything. I think Colin picked Auburn to win the national title because I think he talked about how he picked UConn last year. Um, so I think he is going to pick Auburn this year. There's been a few other people. I think Jay Wright is his name. He was the head coach of Villanova. He picked Auburn to win the national title. And I was listening to, I think it may have been like Daryl Dapperidge. I think this was like on the barn with Charlie Five the other day or the other night, where he talked about like he listens more to coaches than he does like the beat writers to get a feel. And Jay Wright said Auburn is gonna beat Florida in the Final Four, and then win. And then I guess depending on who they play in San Antonio for the championship, they're gonna win the national title. Auburn's path, it's an interesting one. A lot of people say it's the tough, not the toughest, but a lot of people say it's not maybe the easiest. So right now, if all things going, I believe Louisville and Creighton kick off Thursday slate of March Madness games. So Auburn will play the winner of one of those two teams, either Louisville or Creighton. Some people are kind of like Louisville because it's in Kentucky, about like an hour or so away from Louisville. Um, a lot of people are like, whatever, because Auburn fans are already going to be in Kentucky anyway, because Auburn baseball takes on Kentucky this weekend as well. So they're probably going to be there for Thursday's game, and we'll see how it goes with the times and everything for Saturday's games. But it should be a good contingent of Auburn fans either way. I would expect a good portion of the Auburn fans are anticipating going to Atlanta for the Sweet 16 and Elite Four. I know personally for me, if I was going to go, I would honestly place my bet on going to the Sweet 16 and Elite Eight, but that's just me. Some people might go to both. So in the round, so first round you're going to be playing Alabama State on Thursday. Then on Saturday in the round of 32, you'll either be playing Louisville or Creighton. I don't know much about Creighton. I haven't really watched them all that much. Now, Louisville, I did actually watch their ACC championship game against Duke, and even without Cooper Flagg, Duke was able to pull it out. They're an all right ACC team. I guess if you were to pluck them in and put them in the SEC, they're probably like a they wouldn't have the double bye. They would definitely play like on Thursday. Honestly, if I had to really guess, I think they would like play on Thursday and just get the one single bye. They're not a bad basketball team, but I don't think they're that great of a basketball team. So if Auburn I do predict Auburn going to get into the Sweet 16. So beating Alabama State, beating either Creighton or Louisville. I think either one. Auburn's going to beat them because this team, before I get to the next set, this team, they know, as it is with every team in this tournament, once you're one and done, there's no more season after this. These guys have plenty to play for right now. And we've been hearing pretty much from a lot of people these past couple of weeks is Auburn's 3 of their last 4, talking about how they lost to Texas A&M, how they lost to a buzzer beater against Alabama, and then how they lost to Tennessee in the SEC semifinals this past Saturday. But this team is still a really good basketball team. They are. Now there's some things that they can work on and things that they can clean up heading into the tournament. But this is still a very dangerous basketball team. Like if everybody shows up and plays to the level that they can, they're going to win a national title in San Antonio. So get through the first 2 rounds. I wouldn't say they're going to have pressure on them because it's been a while since Bruce has gotten to the Sweet 16. I think since the Final Four in 2019. Auburn's been bounced either in the first round or the second round of the tournament. But I do think this team is different. And I think I mentioned this maybe Saturday after the Tennessee game, but if not, I'll mention it here. But this is why you brought these group of seniors together. This is why you brought them together for the run in March Madness, for the run to San Antonio for the national title. That is the goal. The goal is to win a national title, plain and simple. You got 10 seniors on this roster. 10. You have one of the most experienced rosters in the NCAA tournament. And I'm sure there's other teams who probably have just as experienced rosters as Auburn. But you should be able to withstand it with you playing in the SEC, playing teams like Kentucky, Alabama, Florida, Tennessee, Texas A&M, playing these kind of teams should have easily prepared you for this run, especially in your non-conference as well. Houston, Iowa State, Duke, even though Purdue's a tournament team, even though you mopped the floor with them, you mopped the floor with Ohio State. These particularly the SEC games, the SEC conference games, they should have prepared you for this moment. Okay, you've seen a lot of different offenses, you played a lot of different defenses. You should be able more than equipped to handle whatever an opponent throws at you. Like Auburn has the ability to play up tempo and maybe in a little bit of a high scoring game, or they can play a slow defensive grounded out game. Auburn can do whatever it needs to win the game. So first 2 rounds, you got to get to Atlanta. That if you get to Atlanta, then all bets are off. Auburn, I feel very confident with Auburn. A lot of it will depend on how they look in these first 2 round games, but if they get to the Sweet 16, I will ride with Auburn the entire way, whether they lose or whatever. I will ride with them all the way to San Antonio. So then if we're looking at the Sweet 16, there's this one's a little bit interesting because you could play either Michigan or Texas A&M. Michigan, I think, would be a much better matchup for Auburn because I don't think Michigan could keep up with if Auburn gets into a high offensive scoring type of offense. I don't think Michigan can really keep up with that. Obviously, we know what Texas A&M is. And it is what it is. But I think most Auburn fans are just kind of doesn't matter. We're taking one game at a time, and we'll see what happens. So there's that. You could in the Sweet 16, you could play Michigan or Texas A&M. In the Elite 8, you could potentially play I believe either Iowa State or Michigan State. Now, I think Zach Blackerby has mentioned on his show that he thinks, I believe it's him, but I think he said he thinks Michigan State is the weakest of the two seeds, and Auburn would have probably played Michigan State in Maui if Memphis hadn't beat them. So that's an interesting little nugget right there as well, heading into the tournament. And then Final Four, more than likely you're going to play Florida in a Final Four, unless they get upset by like UConn or Texas Tech, St. John's, somebody like a team like that. Unless they get upset early in the tournament, if you take care of business and do what you're supposed to do, you're more than likely going to end up playing Florida in the Final Four. And if you get past Florida, you're in the national title, where you could probably play either Alabama, Tennessee, Duke. Those are really the main three I think that Houston potentially. Those four teams could potentially, from their side of the tournament bracket, they could make it to the national title. But it all starts with you taking care of business first, plain and simple. Rebounding has been an issue with this team all season long. If they can limit second chance points, then I feel good about that. If they can do better at the free throw line, I feel extremely better, because these games could be won or lost at the free throw line. We saw it with the game against Tennessee this past Saturday, where Auburn was 13 of 22. They missed like 9 points at the free throw line. Auburn makes at least 6 of those. You're in a much better spot and not much of a desperation spot as you were at that moment. So rebounding and free throws are two crucial things that Auburn needs to make sure they take care of throughout this tournament for sure. And then people need to step up, plain and simple. Janai Brew, the past couple of games, has kind of like carried the team with his like 20, 30 points he's had the past couple of games. Like Miles Kelly needs to step up. Chaney Johnson needs to step up. Chad needs to play with composure, because again, this is, for the most part, this is it. You lose and you go home, plain and simple. So I think these guys are going to be locked in. I think these guys are hungry to prove that they are the best team. There's a reason why they were number one in the country for like the past like 2 months or so. And I feel very confident that these guys are going to come out ready to play, ready to show what they have for sure. Maybe we'll see some Ja'Kai Howard to help add a little bit more offense off the bench. But I think they're going to be locked in. I do feel like they may play a little tight at the beginning of the game against Alabama State, but I think as it goes on, they're going to settle in and handle business like they should. So, but we'll have to just see how things go tomorrow at 1:50 when the tip-off is for Auburn, Alabama State. But that's pretty much it for you guys. Be sure you hit that like and subscribe button, comment below. I'll go live later Thursday night, or I'll just make a separate video and upload that. I'm not entirely sure, just depending on my schedule and things like that. But you should get a video from me for sure. But guys, be sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Like I said, hit the notification button. But I will see y'all in the next video. Y'all have a good one.